virus has completely devastated over 150 of the world's major regions and is spreading rapidly. At this point in time, we know of only one method of killing the creatures, or destroy the brain. Be on the guard of any loved ones who may have recently been in any sort of contact with the infected. And if you find yourself in a threatened position, please do not hesitate to act. Again, this is not a test. This is not a joke. We as a species are overwhelmed.
Look away, look away, Dixieland, 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 oh, Dixieland. Praise God.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Dixieland of the Proletariat. We're going to talk about Southern working class history and current events through a leftist perspective. Make sure to like us on social media at Dixieland of the Proletariat or Dixie Prol. And if you want to give your wages to a bunch of rednecks, then subscribe to our Patreon page at patreon.com/DixieProl. We got a lot of cool stuff to give you, including CDs, stickers, and hopefully artwork and cookbooks soon. This podcast is brought to you by Newport 100s in a Box, Camel Silver's Black Coffee, Moonshine Vaping, COVID-19, and President Xi, but in a good way. And tonight,
we got a new sponsor.
What's a new sponsor?
Grizzly.
Grizzly sponsoring us. Shout out to our new Patreon subscribers, Cara, Douglas, Elijah, Alex, and Jay Martell. Want to give out a shout out to Kat in the UK for making a new logo I call Comrade Cotton. Also want to give a shout out to fellow Southerner Rico. Rico saw fascist stickers around his neighborhood and snatched those fuckers down. I made sure to send him some anti-fascist stickers to put up in their place. You're doing God's work, comrade. As hopefully y'all know, our monthly Patreon surplus goes to groups that are run by and or help marginalized people directly. Last month, we gave $100 to Good Works Harm Reduction in North Alabama. And this month, we gave $120 to the Center for People's Self-Determination in St. Louis. As always, I'm Nelson, joined tonight by Brother William, former pig farmer Tyler, Senior Telecommunications Director Tommy, and our guest tonight by popular demand, the pink-haired devil lady herself, Mia. So it's the coronavirus pandemic. We're all in this together, y'all. This is the Zoom call podcast episode, which everyone else is having to do. So this is crazy. So how's everyone holding up? Tyler, what are you drinking? Is that wine?
T-Sun. My maitre d' gave it to me before we all got sent home.
My maitre d'. That's the countryest I've ever heard that said.
Oh my God. So basically 3 out of 4 of us are 3 out of 5 of us are unemployed. I'm unemployed now. Brother William's unemployed. Tyler's unemployed. Tommy's forced to go to work. And
I'm an essential worker. I'm doing the Lord's work.
I pick my essential papers up tomorrow. I go back to work Tuesday.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Oh, wow. They're reopening?
Yeah, but to go only.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So you're going to get any unemployment? Or are you just going to file?
No. My boss had a really good insurance plan to where we got paid like we were still open.
Damn.
Yeah. It didn't affect me like it affected other people. So
we're just gonna close, not gonna do to-goes. And it's like, oh shit, okay, well, fuck.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to that extra $600. I didn't believe that was real. A week.
I believe it when I see it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure the state was gonna fuck that up somehow. It's just gonna we'd get $275 a week, which is like one of the lowest in the nation. And then they're going to add the $600 to that. So hopefully that plus the apparent $1,200 that we're going to get, even though I have a feeling like we're never going to see that money.
I just can't wait to spend my COVID check on a weed strain called COVID.
Oh my God. All right.
Has anybody seen the Joe Exotic carts?
The what?
The cartridges of the weed oil with fucking Joe Exotic on it.
Oh my God. You talk about Tiger King. So I watched that shit. It was wild.
Yeah, man. It's the greatest show on earth.
Tommy, do your impression of Joe.
You mean Carol Baskin, that bitch? That bitch, Carol Baskin. She sent the corona after all of us.
Speaking of tigers, did you see that the tigers in the Bronx Zoo or whatever tested positive for coronavirus?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Who the fuck
Holy
they got? Oh,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, not those poor tigers. Have been through enough.
Yeah. Wait till the mosquitoes get it.
Oh God, I'm fucked. The South already fucked, and we don't need to be fucked anymore.
Interestingly enough, the coronavirus started from animals, so I'm not too surprised about that.
they were not happy when I was telling them that the soup of the day was Wuhan bat.
Oh
They
my
did not.
Right, we're off to a good start. So how's everybody holding up? I'm stuck at home playing Xbox and watching TV, trying to social distance.
I'm doing the whole single dad thing. So, like, as much as I want to do social distancing, I have a little person that keeps fucking with me.
Did you? What did you say earlier? Like, oh guys, I gotta go find my daughter.
Yeah, like it's like I'm spending most of my day trying to keep someone from killing themselves.
I feel you.
Like it's rough.
Will, how's that? How's the online learning having to go with your kid?
Man, it's a pain in the ass. They make us go through this app called Cami, and like ordinarily it costs money. The teachers have to like set it up to get the classroom on it, but because of the school cancellations, they've waived that fee. But all the parents have to be on the same page and filling out the form, like listing the administrators' names. I really wish they would just average out the last 3 quarters because she got all A's. They just got her 3rd quarter report card.
That's awesome.
Nelson, you writing any new music?
No, I broke a guitar string. How bad luck is that? I break a guitar string right when Kay Ivey does the stay-at-home order and like shuts everything down. So
Well, but she didn't though. Like
that is true. Like she really didn't. That's like the weakest stay-at-home order.
Yeah, this is
Like,
dumb.
I love how they made religious exemptions.
I don't think we said it on the show, but when you said that Kay Ivey, you remember she tripped and fell and broke her arm?
Yeah.
That she tripped over her dog, and you said her dog's name was Jen.
yeah, my dad we were watching that when she was doing all that live. And then when she shut it down, like me and my dad just put a bunch of catfish jugs out. He looks at me and his best Joe Exotic, he's like, that bitch.
That bitch Kay Ivey.
But it doesn't affect, we can still fish. Like the lakes are still open, the parks are still open.
Yeah,
Shit, I've been going to the wet market.
Our last episode, you know what happens? That brain parasite.
Yeah, so.
Tommy, what about you? How you holding up?
I'm just going into an empty store, just collecting the check. That's it. That's all I do.
I told them.
Nelson came to visit me one day.
I did come to visit you.
And how many people did we see? Like no one.
No, we had 3 come in at one time trying to find iPads.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, tell them. I told them, but tell our live studio audience and our good friends at home about the person that came in and said why they're not going to get the virus.
Oh yeah. So we deal with a lot of stupid people, and on the front lines of catching this thing. I don't know how I haven't caught it yet. I probably do have it, but these people come in and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can't get it because I'm blessed in the blood of Jesus, covered in the blood of Jesus." You can't.
I want to see these people argue the 5G causes it. People.
Yeah. She's immune.
Do you get a lot of those?
She's immune. The what now?
Do you get a lot of people that claim 5G is going to cause it?
Yeah, dude. When
Yeah.
5G was coming out, people were acting crazy about it. I'm like, dude, there are people that come in that won't even do Face ID. Like people with Facebooks, with their profile picture everywhere, and they're like, "No, I don't want to do Face ID." The government be watching.
I wouldn't let people get me on Snapchat.
I'm convinced that, like, I've done enough drugs off, like, sketchy bathrooms and bars. I'm good. Like, I'm immune.
They said the service industry will be inoculated. We've already gotten whatever shit.
Dude, I honestly think, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm really thinking we're seeing like the death of the service industry for food.
Shut up.
Because like takeout. I mean, Tyler, you'll be fine because someone's got to cook it until they come up with robots that can cook better than you. But like,
No, people will be back out to eat.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like you think like old people like that sit down bullshit, but like I'm thinking our generation and younger have been like really taking advantage of Waiter and Grubhub. It's on the rise.
We'll
Man,
see.
everybody hates Waiter.
We're
and Grub.
temporarily turning all our servers into
I
delivery
use Waiter
drivers.
once.
You use Waiter?
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
use
like. I
Waiter
think
like
the
3 times a
sit down restaurant is going to be dead. I think that everyone's going to be going.
Now that being said, I still go to sit down restaurant,
What were you
but I
saying?
do use Waiter like a lot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, there's no waiter out here. No waiter. There's no fast food.
Waiter shows up on a tractor. Tyler, you should totally do that. You should be a waiter driver on a tractor.
Dude, I've been driving my tractor a lot.
That shit's fun.
Just for fun?
Tractors.
Or a 4-wheeler. A 4-wheeler would do great, maybe.
That'd be hilarious.
Hell yeah. It'd be like,
See, I saw a guy like at the gas station today driving down the road right in front of the gas station doing a wheelie on the 4-wheeler like he was in Philly or something.
They do that shit on Norman Bridge all the time. It's just like I'll be going over there to see Zane and Justin. All of a sudden, like this just kids pop out on dirt bikes and 4-wheelers running from the cops.
Where at Montgomery is that happening?
What?
Norman Bridge.
Norman Bridge.
Oh,
Gotta love
three-
Gotta love West Side Montgomery.
It's the no. But the the 36111 post office, like you're heading. Yeah, I think it's Norman Bridge. Like you're heading towards Cloverdale.
Yeah.
A bear? Yeah. Oh my god, that shit's fucking crazy.
That's narrow lane.
Narrow Lane, that was it. Not Norman Bridge. Narrow Lane. I don't remember the roads. You know, I've been here for all my fucking life. But anyway, y'all. So this virus has put like everything on hold. It's just like all these podcasts are doing it by Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're actually getting to somehow record. I mean, my class that I have to take through Zoom is a fucking joke. Like our professor, he can tell he's just completely defeated. Actually, he tweeted out the other day. He's like, all my suspicions about teaching online were true. This end of the semester has broken me. I don't even remember when my own due dates for stuff are. Everyone just emails me at once.
What class are you taking?
Damn.
Yeah, statistics 60/80.
That sucks.
It's so bad.
Everything about that sucks.
No.
Well-
Like I said, there's a dude in my class that's like a fighter pilot instructor in the Omanian Air Force. He's a lieutenant colonel. He's gonna be a general. Like when he gets back, he speaks 3 languages and flies like F4s, F-16s, and like he's having problems with it. I'm like, all right, so I feel better now that the dude that is entrusted with like millions of dollars worth of equipment and speaks 3 languages is having problems.
In F4, I mean, if John McCain can crash them, how hard can they be?
I mean, he did graduate at the bottom of his class. Just put that out there.
So,
He's crashing F4s in hell now.
oh. Rest in piss.
I've taken advantage of the civil unrest to declare my own militia.
For those who can't see that are going to be listening to this, Will, what's that behind you?
It's the 8-pointed seal of my micronation.
What's your micronation?
We're not going to get into that right now. We're in a guerrilla
I'm
campaign.
the prime minister. The last elections we had, the Socialist Party won.
Well, the elections are canceled.
Did you really make a fucking hat for your damn country?
Oh, yeah, I did. I sewed it together.
That's fucking.
Look, I've had a lot of time. I've been doing watercolor. I made that tarot set.
Oh yeah, I wonder how much it would cost to print that because I would love to make that fucking Patreon.
I'm going to call up the quick shop and ask them, but I'm pretty sure it'd be kind of expensive. And then I don't have the minor arcana cards. I got to do those.
Oh, okay.
It's like 50.
The coronavirus tarot cards, right?
Yeah, they're Montgomery coronavirus themed.
So, like, tell us about the cards.
No, I want to copy him and he can't make money off of it. Don't.
Oh yeah, don't show them. Ah, crap. Yeah, Mia's right.
Oh, what? Oh, shit.
Copy them.
All right.
Well, tell us an example of one. Like, what's the best one you came up with?
I don't know. I'm looking it over. I like this one for judgment. Bam.
Oh, it's a bunch of doctors.
Good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. So, going on with the theme of the virus.
All right, so
like-
Joe Biden's got it right. Like, he's dead.
Joe Biden's dead. Joe
He's
Biden
dead.
is not alive.
He caught it a long time ago. He was the first of many.
Yeah.
Tommy's our Joe Biden expert. So Tommy, break us down this whole Joe Biden conspiracy.
Okay, so it's not a conspiracy; it's real. Basically, Joe Biden caught the coronavirus, and he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. That's it. No story, no mystery. He's dead.
Wait, so how are they? Is it like a Tupac hologram they have up in front of the green screen?
What they use?
They're using a robot. That's why it wasn't fully calibrated. When he walked off screen, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. It's a plant. It's a plant by the DNC. That's all it is.
It's a life model decoy. He's
Joe
on some
Biden's
Nick Fury
bot.
shit.
It's basically a sex doll. He's a Japanese sex doll, and he's running for president.
Listen here, pal.
Oh my god!
Well,
Japanese
he's a
Joe Biden.
fucking. He's a replicant. It's a replicant.
Will do your Japanese Obama. That was actually really funny.
Oh, that was because I found out that Japan has an Obama province. I think we did that one last episode. You were
Do they
telling me
really?
how. Yeah.
I am
That's
not in this conversation.
There is no red America or a blue America.
Okay, I've got a question for Mia. So the clinic shut down, right?
Yes, we shut down for 1 week because
Okay.
we had a problem getting our doctors here. All of our doctors here in Montgomery are from very, very blue states and not from anywhere near red states. So it's become a task to get them here in the age of Corona.
So that means our favorite protester's out of a job.
Well, not really. Someone who may or may not have been me stayed up to 5 o'clock in the morning to talk to them over the intercom just to mess with their head.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Uh,
I want to make this note that we're not going to be able to edit this episode. So like, let's not.
that's why I said our favorite protester, and I didn't say his name.
Yeah, we're being very careful.
So I think I could probably fit in like these facts and stuff that I wrote down throughout the episode. So Mia, do you want to just go ahead and take it away and tell us basically how this started, like what's happening? I saw that it's Texas, Ohio, and a number of other southern states. So like what are these governors and Republican governors, like what are they actually doing? Like what's going on with reproductive rights during the pandemic?
Well, what they're actually doing is using this pandemic as a way to take away people's constitutional right to abortion. I don't see anyone taking away your Second Amendment rights, because remember, here in Alabama, the gun stores are still open. So, yes, that's basically what is happening. I would like to point out that I was in the Alabama legislature on the week of March the 9th. I think that would have been the 11th when I was actually there and witnessed this. Of the chamber's health committee sitting there patting themselves on the back about how they didn't, quote, blow this out of proportion and make this, quote, a bigger deal than what it is. This was before, of course, everything started happening and people started testing positive all over the country. So, yeah, Alabama's not prepared for this. We have never been prepared for this. And the week after that, when we actually did have clinic in Montgomery, we had a protest calling. Let me back up here for a minute because I don't know if this is anything anyone would understand. Because of what we do in Alabama and because we're the only pro-choice organization powerhouse in the United States, adjacent to an abortion clinic, we have to hire off-duty cops to protect our escorts from the protesters. The week after everything kind of started going downhill, our protesters called the cops when there were 2 other PD officers already on site because the clinic was open and they didn't deem us essential workers, or what we do is essential health care. So, yeah, it's always fun when there's 2 law enforcement agency people on site and then they still call the cops on top of the cops. But basically, that's where we went from here. They've tried to shut down. ADPH short time did actually come out and say, hey, they're essential workers because they provide abortion care. It's not something you can delay or not something you can deny. So we were good for about a week. And then last week, basically the shit hit the fan. So yeah, with the new governor's orders, there have been some movements, and the state of Alabama has actually contested Judge Thompson's rulings that we can stay open to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. So we're looking at a situation where Texas took the same action that Alabama did, along with Ohio. But Texas, because they are districted in the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the most notoriously conservative court in the United States, last week they got to stay open for less than 24 before the 5th Circuit shut them down. So you were talking about a state the size of Texas with no whatsoever.
Mia, can you say that bit one more time because the stuff cut out? Actually, can everyone but Mia mute their mics because I think that it messes with everything.
Okay. Yeah. Let me figure out. Am I muted? Can you hear me? Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead, Mia.
Okay, so yes, basically, the state of Texas is without abortion care right now, followed by other states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, other states following in their footsteps, including Ohio, and saying that you can't get abortions in the time of a pandemic. So yeah, we're in this weird legal situation where, and I really hate to say this, but the aunties have gotten what they wanted, and they didn't have to put up a multi-year, multi-million-dollar fight to do so. And they're using a pandemic to enforce their own social and moral guidelines. And it's really messed up. Things are messed up in the world when Alabama is the one state in the South where you can get an abortion. Period. That's just messed up.
So right now, what you're saying is Texas. They've basically shut down all the clinics in Texas. What about Louisiana and Mississippi?
I know that some attorneys firms are arguing that medical abortion does not take up PPE, and that's personal protective equipment, which is kind of ridiculous because abortions aren't performed in hospitals anyways. And I don't think that even if the clinics were to donate, PPE to the hospitals, it would make a difference. But they're using it for their own political will and because they can. Mississippi has been ordered to be shut down. I do not know if they're still operating, but your average citizen who doesn't know the ins and outs, basically, if you're in Texas, you are going to have to drive at least 1,000 miles to get the care that you need right now.
Wow. Okay, so Texas is shut down. Mississippi is shut down. Louisiana, did we say yay or nay?
Partially shut down, yes.
Partially. So what about Florida?
I'm not sure because DeSantis did do that stay-at-home order on Friday. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I haven't read it because I'm just tired of all this mess. But regardless of the matter, at hand, you still have all these states that have one clinic or two clinics or three clinics, like Louisiana, Mississippi, even Kentucky only has one clinic. Arkansas only has one clinic. When one goes down, even as far away as Louisiana, we feel it here in Alabama, and it puts a strain on our clinics.
One more state. What about Georgia? As Georgia, yay or nay? Because you have Atlanta, you have one of the biggest cities in the South.
Right. Atlanta has like 7 or 8 clinics within the city, and as far as I know, they may be still operating, but they may not be operating on as much full scale as they usually would be, because honestly, every clinic in the South is probably not operating on the same scale as they usually would be because of distancing guidelines that every clinic in the South, every clinic, I would say, in the United States takes very seriously. So you're straining a system that is already strained by denying someone in Texas or Louisiana or Mississippi or Oklahoma their rights to an abortion that they're guaranteed to under the 14th Amendment.
So, and then Ohio was another big one. So what's the deal with Ohio? How's that going?
As far as I know, and I haven't really studied the legalities in their language, I believe medication abortion, which is commonly known as abortion pill, is still ongoing, but I cannot speak to where the surgicals are going on, and surgicals usually happen after 10 weeks when you can no longer take the pill safely for an abortion procedure.
So I guess the next question is, with the pandemic expected to go on for months, if not the rest of the year, and then even longer, like what are we, they're talking about social distancing and having to go on for months now, even, and it could come back again in the fall. Where do you see states that have used the pandemic to basically outlaw abortion? Where do you see this happen? Where do you see this going? Like, is it going to get worse? I mean, obviously it could get worse, but it's pretty bad. But what do you predict, or what do you think is going to happen down the line if this continues?
It's going to get worse on many different levels because we have the legalities of it, and the Supreme Court has never had to make an opinion about abortion care under the conditions we are now. And even if the Supreme Court didn't have to be involved in this, you're talking about more people needing a procedure that probably do not have the money because they've been laid off, or they're having other financial hardships, that are not going to be able to access the care they need in a timely manner. Because the longer you wait in abortion procedures, the more the cost goes up. So telling someone to wait 2 weeks is the equivalent of telling someone to perhaps throw away $200 or $300 that they don't have to take care of a problem that can be solved now versus 2 or 3 weeks in the future. And that doesn't even get into the problem of, in the South, getting doctors here to the South from states.
Talk about that, because I don't think, like you said, I don't think people realize. What people realize is that a lot of the doctors have to travel. So obviously their travel plans have been completely disrupted. So could you go more into that, like what's going on that end?
Right, because most doctors in the South who practice abortion care in the South do not live here, because anti-choice protesters will go to any length necessary to harass those people and their families and their children and whoever they can think of to, try to get one over on the provider. So the majority of providers in the South come from blue states. Well, when the airlines are shut down, basically, and everybody's been told to stay at home, it becomes a huge problem to even get anyone to come here to do that providing that is legally allowed to in Alabama, because there's so many strict, measures against abortion clinics in Alabama and other southern states that don't exist in more bluer progressive states. So then you have a problem of even trying to get a provider to come here. Which is why we didn't have clinic last week in Montgomery, because we literally could not get someone to come here to provide it. And that is a huge problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
it seems especially weird because the Yamaha dealership and Beauty and Beyond are both open.
Yeah, it doesn't make any. It's so crazy that like it have priorities. Like the businesses that like church is obviously what they're saying is essential and but obviously someone needs a medical procedure that, as you said, they can't wait. It's ridiculous.
Hey,
Because I mean, okay, you don't need your facelift,
Yeah.
but unlike a facelift, you can't put abortion care off because of unconstitutional restrictions we have in the South. Like in Alabama, we have an unconstitutional. So if someone is pushing 18, 19 weeks and they can't get a procedure here, the only thing they can do is cross their fingers that they can get into Georgia, or they're looking at New Mexico, Colorado, or maybe Maryland. And how do you do that when you're under a stay-at-home order? How do you do that when there's no planes flying? How do you do that when you're poor or you're disadvantaged or you live way out in the country and you have no access to resources? You don't do that. And that's how we end up with people calling clinics and saying, hey, I ate bleach pills. What can I do? And I have answered calls like that. And
Wait, what kind of pills?
Bleach.
Bleach.
Yes, bleach pills.
Wow.
And that's when abortion is legal and accessible. That's not abortion under a quarantine and not acceptable because your state governor decided to play politics with your body.
and
Fuck.
It's a lot of uncomfortable silence right there. I mean, it should be. It should be because no one, whether you're here in an epidemic or a pandemic or your circumstance don't allow you to be in that position to where you think my only way of dealing with what I've got to deal with right now is to eat bleach pills or to take a swig of turpentine with sugar.
You've had calls about this?
When I worked at a clinic, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Whether or not it's legal, it's going to happen.
right.
Exactly. And like I said, these calls took place under legal abortion before a pandemic, before people had stay-home orders. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, if people are calling me for that a year ago when abortion was still legal, I cannot imagine what they're doing now. Because you're not going to make it illegal. You're not going to make it go away. It's still going to continue. The problem is people are going to die.
And they've had no issues in New York or California or any of the blue states?
Well, that they have, though, I don't think it's time for them to have those issues. Because we've just become, like in the past month, under these stay-at-home orders and stay-in-your-own-house orders. And, I don't have to be a biologist to tell you what happens when people are struck at the Come on, we all know what happens. So we're not even looking forward to 2 to 3 months in the future to what's going to happen to those people that all of a sudden had an unintended pregnancy. Or what if they had an unintended pregnancy when they had the virus? We don't even know how that affects pregnant people at the time.
Yeah.
So cutting access off in the time of pandemic, to me, is a double fucking slap in my face.
Under the guise of somehow repurposing medical staff or prioritizing people.
Pardon?
Like all done under the guise of prioritizing like other services that they are perceived to be like more serious or whatever, to say like using it as an excuse to say, cynically, well, we got more important things to worry about right now.
Well, you can't argue. Even the best anti-choice person who's going to argue with you, argue about that. Because what did I say before? No abortions take place in hospitals unless it is absolutely 110%, and it's the last possible choice of saving the mother or the pregnant person. Because hospitals in the South don't want to get tied up in that anti-abortion thing, because then they'll get harassed as much as the clinics.
Yeah.
So it's another way to enforce the patriarchy. And it's really scary when even doctors, and I have access to doctors at this point, are telling me that we don't know how it affects pregnant people. Period. And we all know that pregnant people are not always at their 100% wellness because they're pregnant. So yeah, we have no idea how it affects them, and expecting them to stay pregnant in a time where there's economic downturn and everything that's going on in the world that is now. Even if I was 20 years old and wanted kids, I couldn't imagine having a kid now. Period.
Yeah, the thought alone in normal, regular conditions is horrifying, let alone during a pandemic. This is,
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have politicians playing out their weird, creepy fantasies about making pregnant people stay pregnant and controlling people. And we all know who those people are. And it's not the people who look like them. Because
Margaret Atwood wrote The Handmaid's Tale, the last chapters in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, it's a scary time to be going through. And it's a scary time as a provider, because then you're made out to be, you don't even care about pregnant people, but you don't care about the general public either. Because that's the way they paint.
they really don't care about the general public. Like I crunched kind of to segue into just general statistics about southern states when it comes to this. Louisiana is on track to be one of the worst in New York. I just looked it up now. They have 13,010 cases and 477 deaths. They have 60.
Alabama's up there too. Yeah. Alabama's up there too. We're probably like the fourth.
They have 4,000 cases in New Orleans. Now, AL.com put out an article saying that Alabama per capita could be the worst state hit in the nation. And what I really want to stress to people outside of the South is, like, they think of like poverty. They don't understand. Like, there's an article that came out, and I think they came to the clinic to talk to y'all, but the United Nations came through, and they said that they saw abject, like, third world poverty in the South. And like, people need to realize, like, one of the things that needs to be hit home is when it comes to sanitation, that like in the Black Belt, like rural Montgomery County, out to Lowndes and Dallas County, they're still straight piping shit into their yards. What that means is that there's no city or county sewage systems. There's no sewage system, and a septic tank costs too much. So what they do is they straight pipe the shit from their toilet out into, hopefully, what they hope is enough out of their backyard that it won't affect them, but it's not. And so you have human waste in people's yards, just adding to the illness and the sickness and the disease already prevalent in the area. Combine that with a lack of rural hospitals. It is shut down rural hospitals out West Alabama, and rural hospitals are shutting down all before this because Kay Ivey and other Republican governors refused to expand Medicaid. So it's a clusterfuck, and it's a massive death just waiting to happen. Because as y'all know, y'all saw this article that came out by Alabama Reporter that Jackson Hospital, March 22nd, was completely overwhelmed. That anonymous sources that worked in the hospital completely overwhelmed. They said there's a lack of tests and lack of vents on March 22nd, that they were overwhelmed with 12 people in their ICU that they called 12. And one of the three big hospitals in Montgomery, the capital, they're overwhelmed with 12 people. Like it's
Right.
it's a combination of a lack of funding, a lack of straight ignorance, a lack of funding, and like not taking this seriously. Because I looked up statistics for Alabama's. I think it might have gone up since now, but there's 1,000 cases, might be over 1,000 now, but there's 13 confirmed deaths, and they have 24 that they're still waiting for confirmation.
Oh,
And
no, you've got old numbers, sweetheart. They're almost at 50 deaths and like 30 something confirmed and over, I know, well over 1,600.
so we got 1,600 cases. How many confirmed dead?
Over 50.
Over
Oh, it's at 50 now? Because I looked at it this morning and it was like 45.
Well, yeah, it's close to 50. Or if not over this point. They reset the numbers every Monday. The reports come out, so we'll know Monday.
Don't believe them. Don't believe ADPH because they were one of the ones that were in that health committee meeting the week of the night saying, oh, we're not taking this, we're not taking it, out of proportion, or we're not overhyping this and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I don't believe anything they tell me, quite frankly.
Did they ever say why Lee County was so badly affected? Like why out Auburn Opelika area? Like why is Lee County so badly affected by this?
Yes, because they all linked it back to one church. And I swear I'm not lying about this. They all linked it back to one particular church.
So much for the blood of Jesus.
Right? I mean,
No, I've got a problem. Like, it's a pretty small community here in Titus, but we've got good access to Lake Jordan. And I got into it with a lady at the gas station the other day because she was being rude to the lady at the register because she wasn't wearing gloves. And this lady was from out of town. And I'm like, yo, all you out of town people coming here to the lake, y'all are going to be the ones who bring the fucking virus in.
Thank you. Leave your ass at home.
Yes. Stay the fuck away from my gas station. Like,
I was at before they did the stay-at-home order. I had to go to Publix thing just before they shut it all down. And one of the ladies in line was yelling got in an argument with the bagger because he like had gloves on, but like I don't know, like something about he didn't have like fresh gloves every time he went to go like bag groceries. I'm just like, why
Because
at the bagger who's just following his role from the manager, who obviously didn't give them enough gloves to be able to pack stuff over and over again, And I was like, why are you yelling at the bagger? And I'm just like, it comes like, to me, this is all starting to look like the beginning of one of those like dystopian post-apocalyptic films where they have flashbacks and you don't like you didn't realize then that society was falling apart because of something going on in the background. And I'm just like, this, like people like, oh, communities are coming together. I'm like, yeah, you might like see the good news stories, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more cases of like people punching someone in the face and like people arguing and getting their tempers. Like everyone's on edge because of this. And it just takes like one thing. Like it takes like a quick mutation of the virus to kill quicker and more people dying to like push people over the edge and have a bunch of horrible stuff happen because this is how like societies break down.
Yeah. This is
always said that America will break down when like people can't go to Walmart and get what they want to get, and now people can't go to Walmart and get what they want to get because the government's telling them they can't. And it's like that's a recipe for disaster, especially in the South, where, as Mia said, gun stores are still open and gun and ammo sales were like through the roof during this. Everyone went out and bought ammo. Hell, I went out and bought more ammo just in case, but like everyone else, like I saw they telling me at one store, like this guy like walked out with like 500 rounds of 45 caliber for his pistol. I'm just like, holy.
oh yeah, and you're buying all that ammo at like a 20% markup.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They totally jacked the prices up online. That was ridiculous. But
I've been loading my own shotgun shells recently.
Time out, Tyler. How did you get your background to look like that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you haven't found out the filters yet, have you, Nelson?
No, I didn't know there were filters.
Oh, there's tons of filters. I laughed so hard the other day because the lady turned herself into a potato for a whole meeting.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw that.
I had to get it off. And I told my boss, I was like, yep, you know, I'm showing up to the next meeting. I'm going to be a potato.
Yeah, I was gonna. I had it set to Stalin with a fade and AirPods in, but it wasn't showing up right.
There's another thing I think that needs to be brought up, and that's how people tend to forget like laws and codes and regulations are like buried in orders and whatnot that like don't get drudged up until something bad happens. And there was an article that came out about Alabama and how they were going to allocate ventilators. And this is a quote from the actual like guidelines from the, I guess, Alabama Department of Health or whomever, the government, that people with severe or profound mental retardation, dementia, and brain injury reasons to deny ventilators in a crisis. So
Damn, they went to healthcare rationing real quick.
yeah, they've already started like their process of eugenics.
Yeah.
Like make sure that like certain people get ventilators. And
Dude, I've seen so much racism online on the City Watch page from like baby boomers with lap dogs as their profile picture, names like Carla and shit, that say like, oh, the Chinese are the virus and they're sending it to us on purpose. And it's just like their brains are melting at even entertaining the possibility that China handled it better than us.
It's the G5, Will. It's the G5. You know it is. And I had to leave those groups because I got so tired of stupidity. I had to leave those groups for my own mental health because I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
they also are they're also talking about their fantasies of shooting looters. Like they just really love, which we all know like what they mean. It's like we all know that like white dudes with like brown sunglasses and these women like with their lap dogs and their Karen haircuts. We all know what they mean. They want an excuse to shoot black people. That's exactly what they're like. It is.
Yeah, we think it's all everybody's going to come together in a crisis, and it's really going to be like Danziger Bridge and the balkanization of little neighborhoods along socioeconomic lines. I mean, it's real. We saw it play out after Katrina.
Yeah.
I wish a motherfucker would come to my street.
Y'all understand, Mia's street is completely locked down, and they got more firepower.
Y'all don't even know.
Will, real quick, can you go into what you were because you mentioned that bridge incident, like the worst case, like you see, we saw it in New Orleans, like Bush is back in the news because in 2005 he apparently said something like a broken clock is wrong or right twice a day because he said something about like if there's a pandemic we got to catch it before my daddy and we find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq or some bullshit like he said about pandemic. You know, people forget that he's a war criminal, but like, what do you mean? Like, we saw this play out in New Orleans? I mean, I want to. We're gonna do a Katrina episode because there's a lot.
Catch the brownie.
Yeah.
Like a week after the storm, you had people roaming the streets trying to get materials to live on or trying to get out of their house or their flooded neighborhood. And the Danziger Bridge was an incident where you had basically people thought they heard gunshots, you know, whatever, and called the cops on like 8 black folks, a mixed race group, leading across the bridge. And the cops showed up, not in uniform, like in a moving truck, and just fucking mowed them down and said, oh, they were armed and you know, people shot in the back. It was a mentally retarded guy shot in the back, all kind of nasty shit. I mean, they're in jail for it now, but only because of public outcry. They lied their asses off. And it was, you know, supposed looters walking into a white neighborhood. These people get on Facebook and they fantasize about the opportunity to have that violence.
I think we saw it after it was one of the hurricanes that like Proud Boys and like literally armed fascist groups.
Yeah, it was Sandy.
Yeah, it was after Sandy. Yeah. It's like I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but like I really don't want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, what about fucking the Red Scare podcast? They had fucking Stephen Bannon on.
They're idiots. I don't, you know.
Oh my
they're
God.
idiots.
What kind of Nas bullshit is that?
You found out what that term is and you're just running with it.
Someone
Yeah.
said, "How dare Stephen Bannon give Red Scare a platform?"
Another thing that got brought up is the article came out today and I glanced over it. I really want to go back and read it some more, but Alabama's like worst case scenario if coronavirus breaks out in the prison system, because they said that the department is already understaffed. The prisons are all overcrowded. For people who don't know,
America.
Yeah, across America, but specifically in Alabama is very bad. Like when people don't.
We've got the worst. We've got the worst.
Yeah,
you gotta lock up those weed dealers, man.
Exactly. For the entire state, people need to realize for the entire state, we have one women's prison, and we're talking it's Tutwiler. So like,
I pass it every day on the way to work. It is.
It's. I would not wish to the Alabama prison system on like my worst enemy, because like you see.
No, one of my exes was in Tutwiler.
It's bad, right? It's horrible.
Yeah. The stories are true.
Ironically named after a prison reformist, Tutwiler.
Wow. But they crowd all these people into bunk beds in gyms, and they crowd as many people they could pack them into these prisons. But like they're saying that if for some reason they run out of prison guards because people go down for the virus, that they're going to call in the National Guard to start securing these prisons. And I'm just like,
unreal.
What the fuck?
And man, like prison's bad enough, like in the cell or whatever, but those dormitory rooms where it's like 100 men in a gym, that sucks.
And like 3 guards, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Dude, those 3%ers in the National Guard are going to get stoked to hang out with the fucking Aryan Brotherhood. Like,
I didn't think about that.
It's a networking opportunity.
Yeah.
How many fucking Nazis in the National Guard are going to have fun hanging out with the ABG?
Okay, so I want to bring up the fact. All right, obviously, healthcare for all, Medicare for all. Okay, so let's talk about the millions of people that are uninsured, and the people that maybe that you and I know that would probably get sick and probably wouldn't go to a hospital, probably can't afford to go to a hospital. And,
I'm uninsured completely. Like,
yeah, and just think about that. Think about those people just either A, dying, or B, spreading it to other people because A, they don't know, or B, they can't find out because they don't have money. Like it's just our whole Medicare system is so fucked up, and it's going to make this thing so much worse than what it is.
And she refuses to expand Medicaid.
Yeah.
She did her little Governor Emo had her little Reddit Q&A.
Oh my god, yeah, Governor Ivy's like ask the gov on Twitter was fucking horrible. She didn't answer any questions, obviously, and like she only answered quote unquote like 3 people. But Tommy brings up a good point. Like our healthcare system is not, I think he said Medicare, but like our healthcare system is not designed for this. Like you have states having to compete with other states for ventilators during a pandemic, and it's fucking horrible. Like it's exacerbated in the South because of racism, because of poverty, because of Republicans who literally do not give a shit, and spineless Democrats who like, and it's the whole thing. The whole thing is just a fucking clusterfuck. It's a tragedy that happened, and it's unfolding right now. Like they said, Alabama is on track to be worst per capita in the nation, and then Louisiana is on track to be like worse than New York. Like it's New York's number 1. The next 5 states, I think, are southern states.
Yeah,
they are. And I just want to point out that we had a couple of courageous House Dems that actually put forth Medicaid expansion bills the week that I heard the healthcare committee people going, "Oh yeah, we're doing this great. Nothing's going to happen." So that has been a sticking point. And I know of some Republicans that are totally for it, but they won't say a word for it because they know they won't elect. Let that sink in for a minute.
They watch these other countries that have good healthcare systems. They're going to get better. Things are going to get better. They're all in an upward tick, getting better. And America is just going to go to shit. It's going to get so much worse, and it's going to happen for way longer than in this month. Like it's probably going to affect us for the rest of the year. Like this is going to be bad. It's going to get real bad.
Oh, it's going to be more than the rest of the year. I predict this is going to affect us more than December. It's going to go into next year.
I believe it.
And to be honest with you, oh my God, it makes me so friggin' angry because how some of the people feel at the State House, but they don't have the courage to say it because they're afraid of not being elected again. I don't know if any of you have been listening to the rambling 2.5-hour Trump jerk-off sessions every day, but somebody asked him on Friday, what are you going to do to help these people that are uninsured? And he's like, well, we're going to come up with better than Obamacare, but he hasn't said anything more about anything other than Obamacare yet. So
Trump's going to expand Medicaid, and he's going to win re-election. We're going to get Medicare for all, but we're going to have to put up with the Republican Party. I swear to God.
Another thing, hold on, Will, you just touched on a beautiful thing. Like,
and party switch.
Yeah, you mentioned, like, this is fucking wild, is that, and I want to talk about it in like a more in-depth like thing from like maybe even a Southern perspective because other podcasts have talked about it, but like you see the Democrats nationally getting outflanked by the Republicans on the left. Tom Cotton, who I honestly believe is going to be like the fascist dictator that people fear. Like Tom Cotton coming out and saying we should just give people cash, and like Mitt Romney, we should just give people cash. Obviously,
or when he sits in there and he brags about the size of the bill, and then he talks about how we're going to nationalize Boeing, maybe it's like, oh.
And then you have
we bail them out. Hell yeah!
Like you have like Brown in Ohio saying, "Well, I don't know, we should probably means test it, blah blah blah," and like Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton just saying give people money. Then you have Bernie Sanders, obviously, who's saying we should give people more money, and AOC and some Democrats that actually have a spine saying that like we should give people more money. But like the fact that like Republicans, like not even like like far right Republicans coming out and saying that we just need to give people money is ridiculous. And like you did touch on a point. It's just like fascism does appeal to it's a middle class Protestant political ideology, but it does appeal to nationalist working class people because of like the social programs that they push. They steal from the left. So like I could totally see Trump throwing a Hail Mary and saying, we're going to pass this Medicare for all thing. It'll be like a kind of maybe like a more watered down version than what Bernie's saying. Obviously it would just be for like American citizens. They're just going to throw undocumented people under the bus. And they're going to throw people here on work visas under the bus. And it will just be for like American citizens, blah, blah. And it'll probably be like underfunded. But just the fact that like he could get the Republican Party and he could push it through Congress to get a universal healthcare system and to even get like more money for this stuff, like for small businesses and for working class folks. Like that's scary because then that sets up like, the Republicans then outflank the Democrats on the left, and then what the fuck is left of the Democratic Party? Like, there's nothing. I hate both parties. I think
they'll cling to war. They'll cling to nationalism, and they'll say we're the party of national security and Russia this, Russia that.
And it'll be like like I thought about the other day is like in America, like I tried to because we have fans in the UK. I was just thinking about like how to explain it to people in the United Kingdom. I was like, if like the Labor Party and the SNP like didn't exist, and all you had to choose from was the Tories and the Lib Dems.
The Republicans are like the BNP.
But what? No, there's these only two parties. Will your Scottish National Party does not exist in this scenario? It's literally.
No, I'm talking about the Republican Party is more like the BNP, the British National Party.
I mean, yeah, but like,
and the Tories are like Dems.
I guess you could because the Tories aren't gonna they slowly will privatize the NHS and will just outright do it like I mean, Trump and Thatcher like go hand in hand to me. It's just like, I don't know. That's the best. That's the best comparison I could think of. Is that like in America, it would be you only have two choices: the Lib Dems and the Conservatives, and it's just like mind blown that like we really don't have anything else to choose from, and it's just like
We need a new party.
we do need a new party. Oh my God, that is Stalin with the wave. We need a new party, and it's just like I don't even know. Like it's just it's beyond fucked. Like it's just the whole thing is just beyond fucked. It's just like it's
You know, like I hate to say it, but fucking Mitt Romney completely cucked Andrew Yang.
he really
Fully cucked him.
it's like, but is it going to give people $1,200? And Andrew Yang's like, what? How many saw that? I don't even want to talk about it. It's I don't even want to go into Andrew Yang. But there's another thing that we need to
He's
definitely.
getting ready for that robot war, cuz like he's underground. He's ready to fight the fucking T-100s.
Already him and didn't Tesla like send out ventilators that were actually
CPAP machines.
machines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck. But another thing that people need to realize, and they're not going to like. I want them to do it, and they should do it to really hone in on how the economic disparity, but also the racial disparity when it comes to COVID-19, how the African American community is overwhelmingly more affected, especially in the South, by this because of lack of health care for poor working class people, especially in rural areas. Like it's really, really fucking bad. Like when people are like, oh, how bad is it? Like it's really, really fucking
Yeah, it's bad.
All you have to do is look at the Black Belt counties of Alabama and look at their rates. And that right there tells you how bad it is.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
It's because those people don't have access to health care, much less at a local hospital or even, a community hospital that may be a county over, because there's so many counties in that Black Belt that have no access whatsoever. So you look at counties like Coffee County, Dale County, Lamar County, Greene County, Geneva County, all these counties that have these small rates, it's basically because there's no one testing there, period. And if they think those numbers are low just because they're a small, quote, rural county, I have a bridge to sell you in Arizona, period. Because no one is getting tested. It is a struggle to even get tested in the 3 largest counties in Alabama, much less in those counties that have no hospital.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it's just there's entire like blue designates cases, and it's like just Jefferson County is all blue. It's like Jefferson, Talladega, Tuscaloosa, that whole area is all blue. You can, like Mia said, like if there's a band in the Black Belt where you could just see it all the way from basically Georgia all the way to Mississippi, and
especially in those western counties in Alabama that surround like Dallas County where Selma is. Marine, there's just no provider there. I have a friend who lives in Marengo County. In order to get OBGYN care, they have to go to Mobile, which is 2.5 hours away. 2.5 hours just to get OBGYN care. Because there's no providers there. And there's not going to be providers there as long as we do not expand Medicaid. We have to expand Medicaid. You can come up with all the excuses, the money, whatever you want to. Alabama's run eventually. So spend the money now so you're not spending twice the amount of money in the next 10 years. Period.
I'm going to ask Governor Ivey about this on her next AMA on 8chan.
And she won't answer you. And it's a chance she won't answer.
her dodge was spectacular. More dexterity than I would expect from a woman of her age.
Well, that's because she's not running her own accounts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Governor Ivy, drop that OnlyFans.
Oh God, no. Wait, where's Chambers County? Because Chambers County sticks up as 87 cases, which is an abnormality. Like in the everything like Chambers is like bam.
Chambers is like between Mobile and like Marengo or Perry County to the west of Alabama. So it's another one of those black belt counties that really doesn't get counted a black belt because it's a little further, I believe, if I remember correctly, a little further south. But yeah, I mean, there's no providers. There's just no providers.
What was the name of the big, fairly large rural hospital they shut down in West Alabama? It was, my mom was talking about it recently. Was it actually West Alabama?
No, you're thinking of the clinic, West Alabama Women's Center. It's a clinic there in Tuscaloosa. Druid City is still in Tuscaloosa, but I know what she's talking about, and I'm ashamed that I don't recall the name of it. But I live so far to the east that I don't. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Most of West Alabama is without a major medical provider. Even in places like Demopolis, like Camden, where we have a lot of people that come from like Montgomery to go to the lake there in Camden, they only have like 3 or 4 ICU beds. And there you get into the whole thing of people leaving the cities, think that they can't escape the virus by leaving the city, and yet being asymptomatic and spreading that virus into the city that may not have had it before if you didn't try to do your white flight escape. To put it bluntly.
I found it. Pickens County Medical Center.
Yes.
The big one closed. The center had 56 beds in Pickens County, located in extreme West Alabama along the Mississippi border. 56 beds gone.
56 total beds or 56 ICU beds? Because there's a difference.
The center is a 56 bed facility. So they had 56 beds and it's gone.
That's 56 beds total.
Yeah.
Facility that has like 56 beds probably only has 2 or 3 ICU beds.
Yeah.
Because even Montgomery being the capital, we still send people to UAB because Montgomery doesn't have the capacity to handle these extreme cases of people not knowing what's going on with them. They always send them to UAB. And that becomes another problem because you have all these counties that don't have beds, or they have limited beds, or they have limited experience and knowledge, and they're sending them to the biggest city in the closest proximity of Alabama to get taken care of.
So according to Alabama Hospital Association, 88% of rural hospitals operate in the red, and 75% of all Alabama hospitals operate in the red. In all, 13 hospitals have closed in the last 8 years, 7 of which were rural. They say 12 out of Alabama's 45 rural hospitals are most vulnerable to close based on several factors, including revenue system affiliation and a lack of Medicaid expansion.
Which is actually just all the same, because the lack of revenue is Medicaid expansion. If you expanded Medicaid, then you wouldn't have people not paying their hospital bills.
Yeah, this is a all-around shitty situation, you know? Like,
it is. And like I said, when I sat in that committee hearing and I watched them patting each other on the back and glad hatting and woo, and we're so great, I just sat there like, really? I guess you really do have your heads so far up your rear end that you can't see straight.
They're literally patting each other on the back while people die.
yeah, this is definitely the time for acceleration, you know? Radicalize, educate yourself. Because, you know, like, the time might be coming.
God.
Well, that's where you get into class lines too. To be honest with you, because you have these lawmakers who never know what their average constituent goes through every day. Because at least they're making at least 60 grand a year. And chances are their average lower income constituent is barely getting by on 15 to 20. And that goes into a different class. So they're not always exposed to that. The only differential I would say would be elected officials from Black Belt counties, where they know what it's like. But you talk about people from Huntsville, from Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, they're removed from that. And that's the problem. That's like a senator like 2 or 3 years ago, Nelson, who's like, well, I don't know anybody who doesn't own a car. You remember that?
Yeah. And then Will said it, though, I think one of the episodes back, is like they're a bunch of failed small business owners that like are sitting on like cushy retirement funds from their 401ks or whatever. Or they're all retired doctors and small businessmen that old white dudes that don't understand how like people live, and it's like
because they've never lived in a trailer where they had to run a 200-foot line out to make sure their sewage doesn't get anywhere near the house because they have kids.
Exactly.
And that's the reality of what happens to people in these counties where the UN came and said, you know what, I was in America, but I felt like I was in a third world country. Because they've told that to me. Because that's our reality in Alabama. Because we're so worried about having one up on someone else and thinking that someone's getting something for free when you didn't, that we don't care about our citizens at all, much less our future citizens. They just don't, because it doesn't affect them.
Well, I hope Chris England can get some people running that actually want to change, because like I guess the first step would be to get these shitty Tea Party ultra conservative Republicans out of fucking office and at least try to get Democrats elected to stop insanity.
We got a shot with that Joe Coleman seat coming up. I mean, he's going to be the winner for that race. And he's just, I mean, that DOD scam he ran with the trucking company, people should look that up.
Yeah, well, you were talking about that. What did he do?
He had a Coleman moving company, which my dad worked for like way back in the day. This is another, inherited business that he has, like his father started or whatever. But they scammed the Department of Defense millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in overweighing the trucks, which is fucking cool. Like, hell yeah, get that money. But, But they have a shot.
The money. It's like when like poor people scam the government, yeah, fuck yeah. But like when some rich asshole scams the government, he can go fuck himself.
I feel you.
Well, the problem with him is he had blamed Obama for everything and took no part of the blame whatsoever. It was always the boogeyman coming to get him, but I'm going to shut up because I shouldn't be talking about this.
And that ad he had where he's got the baseball bat and he's like, I'm going to protect my constituents like I protect my girls. And when they come over here or when their boyfriends come over here, I make them sign this bat so they know what the rules are. I'm like, motherfucker, you were going to get murdered.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I just found out a little. What did you say, Mia?
Completely unrelated. But now when you have this, like.
What were you saying, Mia?
Oh, the Coleman with the bat thing. I said I need another hour podcast for that alone, why that's so wrong. But
I totally found out I can mute people's microphones. So I'm like totally having a power trip. This is
Good
awesome.
job there, El Duce.
I feel like, shut the fuck up. I feel like, God, I can silence you.
watch it. You know where your ammo comes from.
That is true. I'm going to mute Will's muted. Okay. Oh, my God.
Like I was saying before, Nelson muted me. now that you have the people limit, now's the time to go to Walmart. Steal your groceries. They have a no chase policy.
Just start coughing. When they chase
Just
you, just start coughing.
Just start coughing. They're not going to chase you. Steal your groceries. Steal a little extra for your neighbor. But, like, fuck Walmart.
Have a box of shotgun shells.
You know what? Same thing with Whole Foods. If you can get into Whole Foods, steal everything you can because fuck Jeff Bezos.
Fuck.
They're not going to chase you.
Literally steal from all the big corporate fucking.
Oh, yeah. Steal from gas stations. Steal gas if you can.
Check on your neighbors.
Yeah.
From a distance.
From a distance. Yeah. Leave them a letter.
I'm not gonna lie, gas prices being this low is fucking. It was $1.64.
Where the fuck are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Where are you going?
It's like the gas prices are low, Tommy.
Where? Where are you going? Where the fuck are you going? You can't go anywhere. You're gonna go back in and out of your driveway? Is that what you're gonna do?
Dude, I saw gas at $1.59 today, and I looked at my husband, and I was like, "Oh, 25-year-old me feels really happy right now."
Wait, where was it $1.59?
Somewhere between here and Wetumpka.
It's that over at Chantilly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ann Street was $1.63, I think.
Well, that's because they're next to the interstate.
That's true.
But yeah, I was like, "Ooh, fill up the Hummer now. It'll be so cheap."
Come in and out of my driveway. I really want to, like, I know this is bad, but I really want to just go out and drive like Alabama back roads because
That's what I've been doing. Like, I've been doing that. I've been going on hikes. I went to Talladega the other day. I've gone to Sylacauga.
Doing a little fishing.
Yeah, I'm staying my black ass at home.
What? Tommy,
What you got, like Amiibo
this
characters behind you?
Oh yeah. This whole thing is an excuse to kill black people. Okay, like I'm not giving the cop a fucking chance to pull me over and ask me where the fuck I'm going. There's no way. I'm not dealing with that shit.
Tommy,
Look,
you're
Mom.
white people shit right now, aren't you?
Yeah. This is real nigga shit right here.
Oh, my black coworker, he was like, "Hey, because we got to pick up our paperwork and our checks tomorrow." He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna need you to give me a ride." He's like, "I don't feel comfortable driving with all this shit going on," and I was like, "Well, if they pull me over, like, we're both gonna be fucked." But I'm gonna do it. It'll be fine.
Tommy,
It'll be
real quick, you bring up a good point, and like we could talk about it more in another episode. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do, but you bring up a good point. How do we I don't want to like anyway. The question is I thought about this. Is how do you balance a stay-at-home order with a fucking racist police? It's just like the whole fucking system. You brought up
black people stay at home. White people, you can take that chance. That's what it's called. That's the game we play.
Store, Tommy?
Huh?
You need me to get you anything from the store?
No, I'm ordering all my shit. I order all my groceries. I'm not going. Look, I'm not getting pulled over. I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm not gonna be a statistic. Not gonna catch me slipping, reaching for my ID and shoot me in the head. No, fuck no. I'm not dealing with that. I'll cough on a cop. I'll fucking cough on a cop.
What grocery thing do you use?
Walmart and Target.
They deliver?
Hell yeah, they deliver.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Does it cost extra?
No, I mean like I do like the year thing or the monthly thing, and it's like free delivery.
Wait a minute, that would come to my neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't come to black neighborhoods, but they.
Well, I do live in the white neighborhood, so yeah, they're like, yeah, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah, no, I haven't stepped foot inside of a grocery store in forever. It's probably why I'm not sick. But I get all my shit ordered. I don't go out. I don't deal with the public. People are stupid. Fuck people.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
But I will say this: you guys count yourself lucky that you don't have, because I still have to deal with like regular people. Like I have to Lysol everything. I have to bleach my hands like 40 times a day. Like people come in sick. It's a bad position to be in.
You need a mask, Tommy, because I can sew you one here in a few minutes because I'm old and I know how to use a sewing machine.
Sew me a mask. I'll definitely take it.
I will sew you one up tonight.
And I'll deliver it to you, Tommy, so you don't have to leave.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I'm about to get up.
Yeah, I think it's anyone else got any final words before we head out? It's 11 o'clock.
Ye fucking haw.
Everybody take the time out and cough on a cop. So
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Alabama clinics are open. We are not closed. We're still helping people. If you need emergency contraception, if you live in Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, or the entirety of Mississippi, the Yellowhammer Fund will send that to you for absolutely no cost. Go to our website, yellowhammerfund.org. You will find the link to the free emergency contraception. If you live in Montgomery and you need emergency contraception right now, or you need condoms, email me, mia@yellowhammerfund.org. We will put you some on the porch of the powerhouse for no cost. Contactless pickup. Just let us know.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mia. I'll tag Yellowhammer Fund in the show notes since I know how to do all that stuff now. No problem. Do you want me to? Can I post your email address on upload this episode?
Absolutely, I don't care.
Okay. If can I put it on Facebook?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'll definitely tag. I'll try to tag as much as I can in the show notes. Anyone else want to say anything before I do the outro?
Good Lord willing, and the infection rates won't rise. We'll see y'all next month.
Wait, Tyler, how are you doing the cookbook?
Yes, I'm 10 recipes deep. I got grits. I got how you can smoke your own hog jowl. Yeah, we're good. I got gastriques. I've got everything.
Hey,
I got everything from Southern cooking to French cooking.
Hell yeah. All right, well, cap it at however many you want to cap it at, and then we can make it a PDF and make that a Patreon thing.
Yeah, it will be ready by June.
By June?
I'm shooting for 40+ recipes.
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a legit cookbook. Like, you're going to have everything. It's going to be organized.
Hell yeah.
All that.
Tommy, got anything else you want to say?
yes, I'll see you guys on the next episode in the middle of the COVID wars. Start.
Yeah, we got to think of a topic to do for the next episode, and we can think of something. I mean, we can do history stuff over.
Henry Haywood. We can do a whole episode on him.
I want to do Hammer and Hoe. I'll get it with Adam and see if he can do it over. It'd probably be better for him to do it over Zoom, and we can just do the thing that he wanted to do at the conference when we had it. But Brother William, you want to leave us with some scripture?
Oh no! Y'all read on your own. I don't need the Bible to tell me to cover my fucking face. People are like, "Oh, did you read this verse in Corinthians where it mentions a plague also?" Like, man, that's surface level, dog. You got to get deep.
You got to get in the weeds.
Yeah.
All right.
Take that stimulus check. Buy an extra G from your drug dealer because he needs it right now. Trying times.
In the words of Chucho, don't buy bread, buy dynamite.
Yeah. Stay your black ass at home.
Stay your white ass at home too, because we're fucking historically known to spread a lot of
diseases of all races, creeds, and
no, white people stay out, get sick, just do whatever you got.
White people go out and get sick,
but black people stay your black ass at home, and let's take over this country in 2 years when all the white people are dead. Hebrew Israelites for life.
Hey, I'm doing
On
a
that
Hotep
note-
playthrough
on that
right
note,
now. in Dark Souls.
Thank you,
I'm gonna send y'all a picture of my
everyone.
Dark Souls character. He looks just like a Hotep guy from New York.
Thank you, Mia, for coming on. Everyone,
All right, see y'all.
back. Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody doing this Zoom thing. At Dixieland, the proletariat, we believe the South will rise again, but this time for the right reasons, those being worker-owned means of production, decolonization, and the self-determination of all oppressed peoples. We are coming to you from the heart of Dixie, Montgomery, Alabama. We would also like to recognize that we are recording on occupied land that rightfully belongs to the Muskogee and its people. Y'all, on behalf of the podcast, we're growing. Thank you so much. Hopefully everybody still likes what we're doing. Hopefully we can continue to do it. Everybody stay safe. Check on your neighbors. Pray to whatever deity you believe in. If you don't believe in one, then good vibes and whatnot. But we really need to make sure everyone's okay and try to get through this. Once again, thanks everybody. And we'll see y'all next time.